Do.
Says we are
All right.
live.
Says we're live.
Hello, Gun
Do.
Nation.
I'm just checking this. I don't even have my screen up, so I have no idea if we're live or
I've got
not.
it up. I haven't seen it go yet, but I guess there it goes. Yep, there it is.
All right.
Oh, come on.
Yay.
How's everyone?
Just peachy. How you doing?
I'm living the dream, sir. Living the dream.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Yeah. So
So
what's going on with
let's,
you?
same old, same old. Depending who you ask, there's either things going on or they're not. But let's see who's in the room, shall we? We've
Sure.
got Double B, Ranger 10 millimeter, Dennis B, Guy Comet, Scott P79, I already said Ranger, Kathleen Music Lover, Anthony Lamastro, Craig Fatla, Buffer Zone, Pistol Pete, and that's all I got right now. So we got 28 people in the room right now. Ty J's here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good evening, Big Daddy G, the Armsman. Hello, sir. Cajun Tigers, Parked by Terry, or Teddy, Pewview,
Preview.
Sam Gal. Howdy to you.
Howdy.
Not sure if I should say ma'am or sir. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Al Osborne. So we've got a roll call going. Peter K, IBG. And for those of you who come into the room after that, we'll just kind of move on. Keenan's here. I got to say hello to my friend
Yeah,
Keenan, man.
Ohio Gear.
Ohio Gear Guy. Hello, sir. Um, Double A. Apparently he's a battery.
Battery guy.
So anyway, so what's going on with you, man, in your neck of the woods, so to speak?
And just dealing with all this craziness. I know everyone else out there is, and it's affecting a lot of people. We all know that. I really wasn't going to announce it, but I'll announce it. It's affected me too. I've got furloughed, so it happens to everyone, and right now that's what's going on. So I am, waiting to get back to work, man. It's driving me crazy.
Hmm. Well, I'm still working. I work from home. Sometimes I actually have to go to my workplace to do some things, which sucks because I honestly don't want to be out and about around anybody at this point.
Yeah,
But I am working, so as a result, I am getting paid, thankfully.
yeah,
Um, so it kind of sucks that some of you guys out there are not. Hopefully, this will resolve itself at some point in the near future. I'll be honest with you, I'm not very hopeful on that end. Um, but again, like I said, it depends on opinions and who you ask. So I got my first question to you then. All right, this is going to be an interesting one.
okay.
So let's say this goes on for a long period of time, and you have to feed your family. Okay, what is the first gun you sell?
Wow. So I have to start selling guns.
Yeah, you got to
Uh,
sell a gun to feed your family. Which one is it
I
going
was
to
going to go work the corners or something, but
be? Yeah.
you know, hmm, I guess if it came down to that, mm, I mean, I've got some that I don't have to have. That honestly I've pretty much pushed to the side. Um, I've got some collectible shot or they're collectible shotguns. They're Wingmasters. I've got a Wingmaster
Mm.
collection. So I don't have to have those. There's a couple of them I would keep. Um, Probably get rid of some of the Wingmasters. Wouldn't get rid of any ARs or AR-10s. Probably shotguns, and I've got a revolver that I would probably get rid of, and it's highly collectible. But I'm looking at stuff that I know that I probably won't use, but are worth money. So that's
Oh,
what I would do.
damn. I would actually not sell anything. I would just go rob people. That's what I
Yeah.
would do. Just
Well, and
use it
that's what
to
I'm
arm
saying.
rob. And you know what? Even if you go to jail, they're going to let you out. So that's even better. So just rob everybody, and then you go to jail and you get out.
Man, I'm telling you, the thing, and I mean, I know you're joking about it, but the thing that kind of concerns me, or that could concern everyone, is desperate people do desperate shit. I mean, it's proven. Okay, they
Hmm.
might not be a criminal. They might not, they might be in really bad situation and they're letting it affect them mentally, and they choose to do stupid shit. And, you know, they start trying to robbage and pillage from the wrong people, they're going to get dropped. So I think they really, really need to take a back step on this. And, you know, what amazes me, I don't know if you heard it. Did you hear what the Houston governor came out and said, or the Houston mayor?
No.
The mayor of Houston, I'm not joking. You can go look it up. He went on live and he said, everybody in Houston, criminals, people, just chill out. Just chill out. Don't do crime. Just take a break for now on crime and just chill out. That was his whole speech. It was like a minute and
that'll
something.
Probably work. That's gotta work. I mean, come on.
He's like, you know, the police have better things to do, so don't rob people, just chill out. And I was just sitting there going, what the hell? And I mean, he looked like he was serious as hell. You know, like they're just going to punch out and relax.
Not very bright, apparently.
No.
Yeah. So let's talk about some guns. We don't want to spend the whole night on unfortunately coronavirus again.
Yeah.
So let's talk guns. Let's talk about guns. I mean, there's some things that have coming out. People have made some videos on it already. Micro compacts, single stacks. They seem to be the big rage nowadays. So now we have the 365. You've got the little Rugers, the LCPs, that kind of crap. You've got what else? What am I missing? The Hellcat. The Hellcat. Because that's such a badass name. You've now got the
FN
50. What is it? The 503? Yeah, the P10 M for micro. What are your thoughts on that, man? Like, what do you think about it?
Well, I mean, the smallest gun that I still have that I'll actually even shoot is the Shield 9mm and the Shield 45. That's about as small as I'm personally going to go, and they're single stacks, but I actually shoot both of those really well. I just don't have a need personally for those. Now, if someone wants to get like a Glock 43 or, P365 or something like that, hey, get it, man. But for me, they're just so tiny, like we've talked about before. You're trying to deploy that weapon. I would probably miss the grip because it's just so small. It's just not for me. But for anyone else, hey, get it, man, if it works for you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I still don't know. I mean, I got the 365, but I don't know. I was able to, before all the, hell froze over at this point, but I was able to get my hands on an XL, the 365 XL, which is a little bit bigger. But that seemed to be a little bit better fit for my hand. I'm not so sure on that 365 just yet, but time will tell. I just don't know. It just seems very weird. It goes from like red dots on every gun to now every gun smaller than your pinky. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they're looking for concealability. I know that there's people that have to, tuck their shirt in and they have to dress accordingly. And like when I wear a suit, I carry a gun for a suit. So it's not necessarily a huge gun. But like we talked about before, dress around your gun. Whatever application you need it for. That's why I recommend, to someone, if they can, to have like a single stack or a smaller gun. Whether it be a subcompact or whatever it is, and then a compact, and then maybe a full size, for range use and things like that. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And then the Armsman, I think, makes a good point too. He's saying the 503 and the P10M, he thinks they're falling a little short in capacity compared to the 365 Hellcat and the 43X, especially with those 15-round mags now you can get with those things, I guess. So, and I wonder, if this is just kind of like a knee-jerk response to the market changing a little bit and them wanting to just be a part of it, knowing that just by name brand alone, people will buy them.
I think it's an offering. They want to have something like that in their category, that way they can offer, because what they're hoping for is someone will buy the 503, then they'll buy the 509, then they might buy the 509 tactical, vice versa, and they'll just have like all the FNs or all the CZs or, whatever it might be, again, to kind of dress around your gun. So I think it's good that they're offering it because that does offer people more choices. But it's kind of like, you're kind of late to the party. A lot of, but there's going to be some loyal people who buy it, and maybe they've been looking for that. So,
Right. So Ohio Gear Guy saying I should get an XL grip module, but then I'd have to get magazines if I'm not mistaken too. I think I would need mags because it's a longer grip.
yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yep, you would. That's the same with the 320. On the SIG, if you have the compact or whatever, and you want to go to a full size grip, then you have to buy the full size mag.
Right.
So,
Yep.
or you could saw it off, whatever you want to do. But I know guys run 17 frames, but they get them, they saw them off to a 19 just so they can have the extra length.
Right.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty happy with the SIGs, lately. I have them on my desk in front of me here, but God forbid we show them.
Yeah.
The X Compact is really good. The one that came with the RXP, it's really nice. I think this is a solid build on their part. Grip's a little thin overall, but I mean it's a solid feeling gun. And I put that gas pedal on this thing, and I love it. I mean, I wish a lot of manufacturers put a little bit more of a piece of metal on there, because what a difference it feels in your hand when you're able to actually physically push down that thumb.
Yeah.
But it's pretty nice, pretty nice addition. Not many holsters for it, but I was able to cram it into my Black Arch holster, which actually fits really well with it. But none of the other ones do. That's the only one I could get to work with it.
Yeah, I mean, gas pedals are a big deal. I mean, a lot of people say, well, they don't need them, but if you've had one, or even on my Glock, I've got the ramp, the little gas pedal that you actually beveled into the frame, and I really do like it. Definitely serves a purpose, but don't knock them until you tried them. A lot of people, and I've had people, oh, you don't need that, but if you haven't tried it, you might actually like it.
Yeah, I can't believe I went SIG either. It's kind of interesting. I don't even know why. I just think the X Carry I got is really nice. It fits really nicely in the hand, and it just is such a nice gun. But this compact, man, the X Compact it really is a solid build. Now I'm just going to drop it and see if it shoots myself in the ass. But we'll see if that works. But but yeah, it's been pretty good with SIG. I haven't had any real major complaints about any of them right now. Albeit the 365 being a little small, but I mean, right now the SIGs kind of check off a lot of boxes, compared to some of the other ones out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad gun. I've played with a ton and owned a bunch of them. I still own, I think I own one or two now, but not any of the 320s. But I kind of did that way back when and played with them and stuff. And I mean, they're good guns, but now that I've gone to, I guess, a lower bore axis, and bore axis, that's blah, blah, blah. You can shoot a high bore axis or a low bore axis. It doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. I can shoot either one of them, but it comes down to a preference. And I prefer a shorter slide, with the experience that I have. None of them are bad. It's just preference for me. So I'm really, and like even on my SIG Legion, and I know a lot of guys love Legions. Now mine is the older one. It's not the, not the tungsten, the Legion, or the X5 Legion. Mine's the X5 older one. And when I shoot it, the weird thing about that gun is it has a bucking sensation, when you shoot it. And I mean, I can grip it and I can really lock it down, but just the recoil impulse is like a buck. It just kind of goes back and forth, and I'm exaggerating it, but it's weird to feel that and then go right over and shoot the, my P10F. And I don't have that at all, and I mean, same grip, everything. It's just the way it feels. And it's probably because it's a longer slide, but I've got 5-inch guns also. But of course they're steel, but it might just be the length of that polymer. Well, put it this way, when I shoot my 17L, which is a 6-inch barrel, I don't get that. I only get it with that X5, the non-Legion. So maybe with that extra weight on the Legion, it would be better, but it's just a weird sensation on that gun.
Time to go get yourself a tungsten frame.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could buy one, but honestly, I mean, and I'm not bashing on anybody, but the X5 my X5, not the Legion, my X5 just doesn't do that much for me personally, but I've got others to choose from. But maybe if I spend a ton of time with it, and I've shot it quite a bit, but if I spent a lot more time with it, maybe I would just get used to it. but I don't know. It's just not one of my favorite guns, put it that way. So I guess if worst came to worst, that would be the first gun that went. How about that?
There you go. You just answered the question. Finally, 15 minutes in.
I was just thinking about things that I could get good money for right off the bat. You never answered the question. What would you get rid of?
I did answer it. I wouldn't get rid of anything. I'd just rob people. I'd rob people so I could feed my family. I'm talking
seriously. If you had to get rid of something,
I don't have anything pricey. I don't have anything anybody wants. Everything has 10 round magazines. Nobody wants those.
If you had to get rid of a gun, what would it be?
If I had to get rid of one, probably my X-Carry. That's about it right now. It's the biggest gun I own, lengthwise, grip-wise. And although I like it, the X-Compact I'd like better. So yeah, it would probably be that one.
Okay.
But I don't think I'd get much for it, at least not around here. So Guy Comment is asking, do you need to lube anything when you install a Cajun Gunworks Full Pro package? Nothing was mentioned in any instructions or videos, so I installed it clean with no lube. Answer pending from CGW. My answer, because I've done spring work from M Carbo and stuff, is you can put a little grease in there, like some of the moving pieces, just to give a little bit of less friction. So you don't have to do it, but doing it can help you a little bit.
Yeah, I would always use a little bit of assembly lube or a little bit of grease in there just on any moving part. It's kind of standard with, engines or anything you do. You need to add a little pre-lube because going back in there and trying to lube it after the fact, you can't get to a lot of that. So, and I'm not saying you have to goop it in there, just a dab.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then when you start, because I did all the spring work in my CZs, and one of the things they did is they give you grease, and the grease actually helps hold some of the springs in place while you're putting them in. So it could be a good idea to use that. I had to use the grease to do my 365, and thank God that actually worked really well, holding the spring in place while I got everything else in. So that's also another reason why you could use it.
Yeah.
So Keenan's giving you a little advice here. He's saying if once he put the tungsten on his X5, it became a different world. So that might be something you'd want to look at, sir.
Yeah, and I've shot the Legion X5. I mean, I've shot it, but and this is just me. I try to, I have a tendency to compare everything to the Shadow 2. And I know you kind of can't because one's striker fire, one's double action, single action. But with the ergonomics, the feel, the way I can set up the grips, all the other stuff, it's hard. It's just hard for me to probably, and with my hand size, the X5 doesn't fit perfectly where I can make the Shadow 2 fit me really, really well. So it's just different people, nothing wrong with the gun.
So there are no more Steyrs in my collection. I was actually holding off for them to release the A2 and the M, because right now all they have is the L models, but so far there's been no word on that. What a surprise. Another major disappointment from Steyr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rob somebody of their P10C and then turn around and sell it. Absolutely.
He would just go get their toilet paper.
That's right. I know we're running out, man. I'm running short on TP, buddy.
Oh yeah.
So I've been buying baby wipes because I'm not kidding. Yeah. There's none. There's no toilet paper anywhere.
There's nothing wrong with baby wipes, man. I mean,
hoarding the baby wipes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm gonna smell like lavender or something.
There you go.
So, did you see Honest Outlaw's Nerf gun review?
Yes.
So did I. It was interesting. I was really excited, and then he said it takes 25, and I go, well, it's not New York State legal, so I can't own it now.
Yeah. Well, and plus I think it has a maximum yardage of like 5 yards, and that's not even accurate 5 yards.
Let's see.
I would choose a wrist rocket over that thing, and I have a wrist rocket, and it will do some damage.
So the Caracal, it was, again, everything looked like it was going to turn around this month, but unfortunately, the world has shut down completely. I actually just emailed the guy who works for Caracal, just checking in to see how they're doing, because when all this broke out here, there was nothing going out over in Idaho, but I guess that's changed a little bit. So I just emailed him. I'm waiting to see if he responds. I didn't ask about the gun because obviously, their health is a little more important, but I'm hoping, look, I'm still hopeful. That's the only answer I got for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, are we missing?
Baldy's saying he's got plenty of TP around him. So I think it's as you go further north away from the city area, you're finding more shit. There's nothing here. Now they're starting to send people from the city up here who are in intensive care units because they don't have enough down in the city. So they're going to be shipping them up by my neck of the woods. Great.
Wow. We have to break out the water hose, man.
Listen, look, we got a nursing home right by me. They have 19 cases and 8 people just died yesterday. It's crazy. It's crazy shit.
Yeah, and I was talking to 17 about it before. My parents' neighbor, they live down the street. He actually has it, and him and his family went to Boston because their daughter got a job in Boston, and they were, seeing their new apartment and stuff. And he came back from Boston and got sick, and he's been diagnosed with it. And so they've got him quarantined kind of in part of his house, but he's got kids and wife and everybody in that house. I mean, older kids, but still, it's happening. It's crazy, man. It's amazing that a virus could do this. I mean, to what it's done to all of us. I mean, it's not like it's a nuclear war or something, that you could be like, okay, it's a virus, but it's an evil virus.
Yeah, it is. It's non-discriminatory, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Baldy, I don't think I live further north than you. I don't think I do. I think you live east of me, northeast of me, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
all right, let's see. What else?
It might be.
It's hard. It's what I'm finding more difficult with these chats lately is trying to bring up and drum up some topics of the gun world.
Yeah.
Because I really don't think anybody's focused on that. I mean, I know people always like to talk guns and we all love them. We know that, but it's just kind of a difficult time to sit here and talk about anything that's either A, not politically related to this, B, not society related to this, so it's a little difficult. And that's why I appreciate that there's actually 76 people watching right now.
Yeah.
But it is getting more difficult because, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with it in regards to, do I do videos talking about more and more guns when people are losing their jobs and people are dying? And, it kind of makes you really, I hopefully take a step back and realize how irrelevant a lot of this stuff really is.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, because it's hit me personally, with work. Like I said, if y'all didn't hear the first of it, I got furloughed. So I'm officially off with no pay, and it's not fun. And I'm trying to look at the positive aspect of it. I mean, we've got our health. We've, luckily don't have any of this in our family. And, if you do, prayers out to y'all, man, because this is nasty. But what we've got to do is, and it is hard to talk about, hey, there's this new gun out, go buy it, when people are losing their jobs and stuff like that, and figuring out what they're going to do and how they're going to pay their bills and all that other stuff. So it's just, what I'm kind of doing is just, like, hey, I'm here to support you. If there's something you want to talk about, let's talk about it. And, if you need help, holler, reach out,
I think right now, Harry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Harry wants to talk about lever actions, lever guns.
Lever.
So let's talk about lever actions, man. Do you own any lever actions?
I do not. Yeah, well, I guess you could say I do. It's an old 22 long rifle, but as far as like a 30-30 or anything like that, right now I don't. I would love to have another one. I really want a 357-38 setup. But I do not have one now. I used to, and I was an idiot, got rid of a 30-30, and I should have never done that. But, my uncle has it. He told me when he dies, I can have it back. But I think they're great.
I mean,
I think they serve a purpose.
I got the old Marlin Dark series in the 30-30, and I was just about to pick up a stainless one. And, of course, everything shut down, so it's sitting in the shop somewhere. So I'm kind of bummed about that. I'm a huge fan of lever actions. I still think people discount the usefulness of them. Obviously, yes, the round count isn't very high, and you kind of got a rounded nose on a bullet as opposed to a big point on the end of it. But those 30-30 rounds will do some damage to you. But I like them. I like lever actions. I do. I don't have any problems with the new Marlins. I wish I could bring it out and show you guys, but I can't do that. The Dark Series, they did a real nice job with the gun. There's no fitment issues on there at all. The stock goes right up onto the steel. So, I mean, they did a nice job. It's probably one of the nicest ones I've seen. I would say probably the more recent Marlins, anywhere between probably like 2017-ish on, have been actually pretty solid rifles. I think before that, you get a little sketchiness in there, unless, of course, you have a JM model, which is one of the originals, and it doesn't have that crossbolt safety on there. That's even better. But, I find them to be purposeful. I think they have a good amount of potential using with them. And honestly, it's less intimidating for people to see a lever action. People do not consider lever actions very intimidating rifles. But they've got enough stopping power, so I'll keep them. I have no problem with them.
Yeah, I mean they've done what they needed to do forever. I mean, I've seen guys that have shot lever action guns like that's their main rifles, and man, they can rock with those things. And I mean, I was pretty good at shooting them, but I'm not a bullseye long range guru by any means.
So a new person to our chat, Tavaria Malden. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. He's asking, do we prefer 30-30 or 45-70? So we'll let people also chime in on that. I mean, me personally, the 30-30 is a good round. Baldy mentioned it's on par with the 7.62 by 39, which is true. And I don't think you need more than that. I mean, 45-70 has got to have more punch to it. But the 30-30 is pretty good. It's a pretty solid rifle, and it's a pretty solid round. So,
yeah, out of those, I would choose the 30-30 myself also. And the reason being is it's so much more easier. Like if you go into any gun store to find 30-30, sometimes it's harder to find, 45-70. Some places don't stock it, or, they just don't even carry it. They don't even have a gun that's available in that. So I would say 30-30 all day for me. 45-70s are cool though. They're really cool.
Yeah. Yep. And same thing when everything was kind of hitting the fan here, all the ammo was gone. The only thing I could find was 30-30. So thankfully I've got the 30-30, man.
Yeah. Well,
so it is pronounced Tuvere. I think it's Tuvere.
Cool, man.
Tuvere. So hopefully we won't butcher that too much.
Yeah. I was going to say we butcher even easy names. I do sometimes. I just think it's, if you're kind of, and I see the guy comments, bringing it up versus 308, but I look at it this way. 30-30 has been around forever. 308's been around forever. 9mm, of course, 45, stuff like that. If you stay with a standard caliber, that a lot of people have, or a lot of gun stores and things like that have normally, during these kind of ammo shortages, it's going to be much easier to find. It can still get difficult in these times, but it's a common round people might keep. So that's the way I look at it. So if you go on these boutique, kind of crazy things, sometimes if you don't roll your own, you're SOL if you want to just go to a store and try to find it, because a lot of people grab up those boutique rounds who shoot them. So
yeah, some people were saying, what about 308? Guy comment was saying versus the 308. And just adding on to that, I look at a 308 more of a without sounding too stupid here, I look at it more like a platform rifle, something you're going to actually put on the ground. You're going to have some form of platform to lay it on, so to speak. Maybe a trifold or something like that. And you're shooting from that, kind of like a static point. Whereas like a 30-30 to me is more of like a run and gun kind of round. It's controllable. There's not a lot of recoil to it. Maybe the distance isn't as great, obviously, but it's still generating enough velocity to put holes in something. So that's the difference between how I look at it. Like for me, the lever actions are never going to be that super long distance marksmanship type rifle. It is a rifle for me that I'm going to grab, throw in the back seat, and know that my targets, 200 yards out are going to get hit by something, and that's what I look at it for.
If I had to choose between the 30-30 and the 308, I would choose 308 all day. But that's me. I'm an old school 308 guy. I love 30-30, but I would definitely gravitate towards 308 if I had to choose between those two only. But that's just my opinion. So
I'll stick with the 30-30.
Yeah, 30-30 will do what you need it to do. And as far as 30-06, I've seen some people bring that up. I've got a 30-06, and yeah, it'll do what you need to do also.
Yep.
Hell, I could
That's
even
for
bust
sure.
out. I could even bust out the 8 mm if I really want to, and it'll mess some shit up too. Now, as far as shotguns, if you were going to pick a shotgun, would you want a pump, a semi-automatic, short barrel? Would you want a long shotgun? What would you want?
Well, I mean, I'd go with a pump shotgun, just for reliability purposes. Um, I don't want a stubby nosed shotgun. I just don't see that being
Yeah.
practical, I guess. I'm not Mad Max or anything, but like to me, again, we've said this before, the 590A1 is the best, right, best shotgun I've ever owned, and I love that shotgun. It's a great shotgun.
Yeah, I'm a big 590 fan too. I think, like the smaller shotguns or the pistol grip shotguns, I think with, one that you can put on your shoulder and you can get some length out of, I think it serves more purpose, for if you had to use it for hunting, if it came to that. Of course, I would use my hunting shotgun for a hunt, but if I, could only have one shotgun, it would definitely be the pump 590 because of the capacity. I've got a really high round 590, and you could do with what you need to do with it. The small pistol grips and stuff like that, they serve their purpose for up close and personal. But if you're choosing between the two, I highly recommend a longer shotgun on a pump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always used to think that shotguns that had the pistol grips were so cool, and I had to have one. I actually prefer it without the pistol grip, personally.
Yeah, and you can get like a Benelli with the shoulder stock and a pistol grip, but it's just they're kind of awkward for me. I can shoot them, but when I grab a shotgun, I want to grab a shotgun, not a rifle / shotgun. It feels awkward to me, and I haven't shot a lot of them. And matter of fact, I've never personally owned one. I've just shot buddies, and it just didn't work for me. I'm not saying I couldn't get used to it, but it's just not for me personally.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying the 870, and there is nothing wrong with the 870. I had an 870. Hell, I still have an 870 for years and years and years. But where the safety is, that's my thing about it. That little tiny push button safety is just an awkward position for me. That's why I like the Mossbergs. You got the top. But hell, I mean, I can shoot at 870. Most people can. It's just not. I think they should have put the safety in a different position, because I actually had a buddy that we're bird hunting with, and he went. We yelled. We all shot. We were pheasant hunting. We all shot. And, I said, safe, everybody put them on safe. Well, he goes to put it on safe and pops the trigger, and he had one loaded, ready to go, because he was just going to kick the safety off and, shoot. And he popped one off trying to hit his safety on his 870. He's got big hands too. And I was just like, that's one of the reasons I don't run an 870.
So Harry is asking, what is the most odd or unique gun everyone has in their safe? I have nothing unique at all.
I've got my grandfather's. I've even got a video on it. It is a German Mauser, a real German Mauser from the war with the symbols on it, 8mm, and it works. Everything on it works. And that's probably the most unique and one of the most prized possessions that I have, because it was his. And then I've got I've got a bunch of antique guns, but they all work. But that's probably one of my most prized possessions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really have anything super unique. I don't have anything really, that says wow. I mean, I think the most unique gun I have, just because it's such a different look to it, is that new Marlin Dark, because of the fact that you got a threaded barrel. They made it tactical, I guess you could say, but still very functional, hopefully. But I don't really have anything to say that, wow, that's so unique. I've got your typical things.
Yeah. I've got some really another rifle that I have it's strange. I don't know if a lot of people have even heard of it. It's actually called, the name back in the day was called the Chicken Gun. And what it is, it's a single shot hex barrel. So it's a hexagon barrel, like a stop sign, but it's, small barrel. I think it's 16 inches. and it's a breakover single shot, and it's a 32. So it actually shoots a 32 caliber shell. And what's crazy about it, my grandmother, she would sit on the front porch and she'd pop chickens with it. And then, she would actually skin them and defeather them, and we had chicken dinner. So that's what she used it for. It was her chicken gun. So I remember hearing it go pop. I mean, you could hear it from a distance, and she wore no hearing protection, but she's probably half deaf anyway. But she just sit there and pop those chickens with it.
So the Tingler is asking, how reliable is a pump shotgun when in a high-stress situation people forget to work the action and transition to other weapons? I mean, if you shoot somebody with a shotgun, I don't know if you have to transition. That's the first thing. Second thing is it's about proficiency. Are you proficient? Yeah. Stress will play a role in that, but you just got to practice and be mindful of what you're using. And if you're not comfortable, then grab an AR pistol or something,
Yeah, I mean, if he's talking about having a pistol or a shotgun on a sling and shooting it and then practicing your transitions, I mean, you can sling it just like you can an AR and then go to your sidearm. I mean, it's all going to be practice. I'm not the perfect person at that either, but it's if that's what you want to do with it, I'd just say practice it, get used to it, and you're going to be more proficient than most. I think that, that's the thing about shotguns. Some people say, oh, my shotgun doesn't like low brass, it doesn't like high brass, or it shoots both. I mean, any shotgun that you're going to depend on for, a self-defense shotgun, I would want to make sure that it runs whatever ammo you're going to put through it, whether it be, high brass, low brass, magnum shells, birdshot, buckshot, slugs, whatever. You need to run it and make sure it's going to take anything you put through it, because some shotguns, they can be pretty finicky. The 590 is not bad. I mean, it runs everything I've ever put through it, but I have some shotguns that will not, they just don't like high brass or they don't like low brass. So, definitely you should practice with it, especially if you're a new person who just purchased with this last wave of shotguns, and that's what you chose to shoot. Make sure the dang thing runs with whatever you're going to put through it. And do not use birdshot as your self-defense round. Just don't do that. Don't do that.
So I was just thinking while you're talking about another kind of unique gun I have is also that the Russian SKS. That's pretty unique, man. For me, it's rare. First off, to be in such great condition, and all matching numbers. So, that's a pretty nice piece, no doubt.
Yeah, and SKSs are fun rifles, man. I mean, they're super reliable. I mean, if you get a good one, I've seen some old ones that were just the bottom of the barrel things where they were just, everything's worn out, just needs to be replaced. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's a great platform, it's proven, and they work. So, and you don't have to retro them, to take AK mags and stuff like that. You can, but I know you can't in your area, but, those things run. I mean, it's hard to tear them up.
Right. It's a good rifle.
Yeah. Do you have the bayonet? I can't remember on yours. Does it have the bayonet lug?
Yeah, it does. It has a bayonet.
Oh, it's got the bayonet. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's even cool. That's even cooler. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Yep. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful rifle, man. Really is nice.
Yeah, that's cool. And on your on 590s, what's funny is they do have the bayonet lug. I've never bought. Yeah. I've never gotten the bayonet for mine. I just, I mean, it's cool, but I'm just like, it didn't mean that much to me. But I've got a buddy who has one on his, and I think it's more for the look of it. But that's not. Use it. But I was gonna say that's not really in my wheelhouse.
So Ohio Gun Gear or Guns Guy, whatever, I forget his damn handle, but he was asking how's the dry firing game going with everybody, and it's funny because that's all I do right now. I just dry fire all day long.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of dry fire. God, clean guns. I'm not a hardcore gun cleaner. I like to shoot them a lot before I actually clean them. But clean guns, reorganized things probably 3 and 4 times. Found some stuff I put up and didn't know where it was, and I finally found it. So but that's what I've been doing. So
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to do right now. Just playing around, dropping mags, putting a new mag in real quick, just trying to get, I was actually pulling from a holster yesterday, of course, my wife stares at me. She's like, "You're crazy." I go, "Yeah, well, I won't be crazy if I ever have to really do this."
yeah,
So,
yeah.
laugh now while you can, honey.
Yeah, I put on my race belt and done draws from it and some mag changes. I've put on my tactical setup and done that. Um, and even between the two, and I think I've said this before, but even between the two, like the race gear and the tactical, I'm not a military guy. I'm not saying that. Um, but I do like, going with the tactical belt more than the race belt. So.
Yeah. So Reddit's saying, "Am I gonna make a TikTok dry fire video?" No, TikTok is not my wheelhouse. That's my daughter's thing. So I do not do TikToks.
I
Sorry,
do, I do TikTok.
I don't.
Yeah. I've been playing around with it for a little bit. I've gotten a bunch of videos pulled of like when I was shooting at the range, but then I'll throw them back up or I'll change things on them and then put them back up. And sometimes they'll take them. But I'm just trying to get, TikTok's a goofy app. It really is. But I'm just trying to get more of the 2A stuff out there. And there's a lot of anti-gun people over there, and they'll let you know it. But I'm still trying to put it up, and I'm getting a lot of love over there that people are into guns, but there's a lot of anti-gun people over there too.
There's a shocker.
Yeah, I've been asked.
So,
how are you going to take that to the mall and end people? I mean, I'm getting some crazy comments. I'm like, nope, good guys carry guns too.
So Greg here is asking if he has a P01, would a P07 or a P10C be a good purchase? What are your thoughts on that?
If you have a P01, well, here's the thing about the P07 and the P10C. If you don't know this, Greg, P07 and the P10C take the exact same mag. So the P01 does not. Won't take go in either one of those guns. But I'm a big fan of the P07 if you want a double action, single action. And then I'm a huge fan of the P10C, P10F if you want a striker fire. So they're both great guns. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. It's what you like, what fits your hand, and what you prefer.
I honestly, if you have a P01, why not get another? It's my favorite gun. So I mean, I have three of them. I have three P01s, a PCR, a P10C, Phantom. But I mean, the P01s, they're the best. They are the best of all CZs. I know, I said it.
Yeah.
But
well, that's like me. I've got two P07s and three P10Cs and F. So I mean, I like the just my opinion, and I know that you have your opinion. I prefer the P07 over the P01. Yes, I own a P01 because it fits my hand better, and I don't like the hook trigger. I like the Omega trigger. I know he doesn't, but I do, and that's great that we can differ. It really comes down to, we can tell you what we like, but it comes down to what you like because everyone is different. So I say, try them, see what you prefer, and then get what you like. Because I've had people say, hey, I tried this out and I didn't like it. And it could be the P07, it could be the P01. But, so they didn't buy it. They were able to rent it or shoot at buddies or try it in a gun store or something like that. I will say this, and you might agree with me. On the P07, when you first pull the trigger in the gun store, it's going to be gritty. That's what it does. But after about 200, 250 rounds, it really cleans itself up. So just take that into account.
Mm-hmm. And just here we get a question from Tingler, or a statement basically saying he's highlighting many 911 stories where many people who are using a shotgun don't cycle the shotgun and go to other weapons. And again, that's, I think we highlighted the idea of just being proficient and knowing what your situation is and how to operate during that situation.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else, training, we could train all you want. Training is no guarantee that it's going to work the way you want it to. but the more proficient you are, the more knowledgeable you are, the better chances you have of not screwing up. But training, everybody says training, like that's somehow 100% foolproof. It's not. It's not at all. I mean, does it reduce your chances of messing something up and being in a worse situation? Yes, absolutely. But there's no guarantees, none.
That's exactly right. And anything you can have a bad round, you need to know how to clear it. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. And it can usually happen at the worst time. So I would definitely be prepared. And, this is kind of another thing. And I know we've talked about this before too, but, know your home. If you feel comfortable with a pistol and you don't have a 50-yard hallway in your house, he's not going to walk through a wall. So if you can shoot between the two walls and you're fairly accurate with a pistol or a shotgun or whatever it is, like what I do is okay, this distance, is 25 yards. This distance is 35 yards. Know where you are in your house because nobody knows it better than you. And just think, okay, if I'm in this room or I'm in that room, or if I have to, go down the hallway, what am I going to be proficient with? If it's an AR, use an AR. If it's a shotgun, use a shotgun. I mean, now if you're outside of your home, that's a different ball game. But if you're defending your home, you know it better than anyone.
So Roman 623 said, "Why keep getting the same gun though? I would rather have something different." And he's got a point. I mean, you own multiples, of the same gun. I do, but there's always that. I don't know. Me personally, I just think that there's always that one gun. For whatever reason, you just have a strong, almost like a gravitational pull towards that gun. So the 3P01s I have the green one. I've got an Omega, and then I have the original, the black one, and then I even have a PCR. But at the same time, there's just something about that gun. I just love it. That is the only gun that I would never ever think of getting rid of because there's something about them. I don't know what it is.
Well, and my answer to that would be, okay, if you find a gun that you love, okay, we talk about guns all the time. There's new guns coming out. There's, or let's phrase it this way. There's a new gun coming out that they put lipstick on, and it's a different pig because they put lipstick on it. But in reality, it's the same gun. It's probably close to what you have. So if you find a gun that you really, really like, whether it be a P01 or a P07, I've always said this, and always thought this way, double up. Meaning if that gun goes down, you've got a backup that you can shoot just as good. Or if you need to switch a slide over, most of these modern guns, you can move this slide over to that lower. And then also, if you're buying a P07 or whatever it is, you're getting mag compatibility between the two. So you're not just getting 2 mags, you're getting 4 because you bought 2 guns. So, that's another thing. And you don't have to buy as many different mags because if you get a Steyr and a Glock and a CZ, then you're buying extra mags. And I'm the guy that doesn't just have 2 mags for every gun. I've got 10 to 12, if not more. I've got a bunch of mags for each gun I own. So, that's why a lot of people, and I know this, a lot of people buy Glocks. They'll buy, why buy a 43, a 19, a 17, a 34, I mean, other than the 30 or the 43, all those mags are compatible. So that's some reason that people do exactly what we're talking about. So, but to each their own, I would never tell anybody what to buy. It's what you feel comfortable with and what you want to purchase.
So, just so everybody knows, I'd show you the MP01s, but I can't do that either. So, I mean, the green one is probably my favorite, definitely. But the interesting thing about the green one is when they drilled the hole for the actual screw that attaches the grip panel on, they didn't go straight through, so it's kind of screwed up. So I can't get the panel to go on completely flush because of that. Yeah, so that's it's like a blemish. It really is. It's a blemish on the gun, but. I mean, who cares? It still shoots. You can just feel a little bit of a wiggle.
Well,
just and a wiggle.
How you can fix that wiggle is you can use electric tape wherever the space is, and you can actually run a little piece of electric tape on the inside of that frame, and it'll actually shim it out for you.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have to try
electric tape will fix it. I promise you. Because I've had another brand of gun, was not a CZ, and it had that same issue, and I put electric tape around it, built up that one area, and that thing is tight and perfect. No wiggle, no creak, no nothing. Yes, a lot of the matches are getting canceled. IDPA, USPSA, 3-gun, there's a lot of that stuff, because you got to look at it that, you're getting a lot of people in an area, and, you could probably space people out 6 feet away, but you're either not going to have enough people to show up because they're going to have to lessen the field, or, you're just going to have to run single groups or switch everybody out to different stages. So, it's just a bad situation we're in. Period. For not just that, but hell, even the grocery stores, man. You go into a grocery store and it's like, I've seen people head to toe in garbage bags. I've seen the whole crazy stuff. I'm sure you have too. And it's like, man, what do? You got to get groceries.
Yep. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah, I appreciate
my local grocery store. There was a couple of people who were working in the locals here that wound up testing positive for it. So now everybody's all freaking out about that. But, I'm of the belief we're all going to get it. We're all going to get it. And then, unfortunately, God's going to sort us out. That's the way I look at it. It sucks to say that, but I don't really know. A lot of people are saying it's not really that big a deal, but I think it depends on the area you're in.
Yeah.
Our cases in my county keep going up like by double every damn day.
Yeah. And it's going to keep going up. That's what I'm saying. Now that they're getting more testing kits out. And that's another, that's something that Harry and I were talking about too. I was feeling kind of, crummy way back when, I think he was, other people are, hell, did we have it and didn't know it? I don't know, and you could still be a carrier and not get all the symptoms. We don't know different immunities. And one thing that I've got to say, since I travel so much and I'm in different hotels and, going around, meeting people and doing all the things that I do, I'm hoping that I've built up maybe a better immune system than some people because I've been put in those situations, but I don't know. I might not. It's the unknowing. That's the part that sucks.
Yeah.
Yep. And that, I don't know if y'all saw, I don't know if you saw it, but that Chinese market, hell, they're hanging chickens and bats and all that crap. They're already open again. And I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, are we going to get a second strand of this crap coming through because of that? I don't know.
The Chinese just locked down another province today because they have it.
Yeah.
So they were saying, the Chinese are, free and clear. Well, apparently they're not. So.
Yeah. Between us, I think their numbers that they gave are a bunch of BS too. They're like,
they started, they were talking about, instead of putting as a cause of death coronavirus, they're just saying respiratory failure.
Yeah.
That way the numbers don't add up the way they're supposed to.
Yeah. So I think it's a lot worse than over there than what it was originally came out, or the numbers they're giving us, put it that way.
Yep.
Harry's saying that I guess he's saying something about, there was a professional saying that it's been going around since December, maybe. And it very well could have been.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be glad when this crap's over with, man. And it's going to take a while, for it to completely go back to normal. Some people are thinking that a switch is going to flip and everything's going to go back to normal, but that's not the way it's going to be. It's going to be dragging out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying people aren't going back to work. I just think this whole thing, is going to be drug out longer than, of course, we want it to be.
So this is, I'm going to say Uncle Dut. I'm not sure.
Uncle Dut.
It's Uncle Dut, probably.
Uncle Dut, yeah.
And listen to me. I saw New Orleans, so I'm thinking it's got to be Cajun. So what the hell? This would say Uncle Dut,
Yeah.
So Uncle Dut or Dude, who the hell knows? But he's saying he's in New Orleans, and they had over 400 deaths already, which is pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy.
It is.
And I think that's the thing that concerns at least me. Like I said before, I've got elderly parents and an elderly grandmother, and I'm very concerned. I'm more concerned about them than myself. Although this myth that this is only killing elderly people is a myth. It is not true. There are people dying in their 30s Newborns are dying. Obviously, probably because the immunity system isn't developed correctly. But just by me locally here, there was a man under 40, 5 kids, went home, wasn't feeling well, was admitted to the hospital. He was dead the next day. He died on his 10-year-old twin's birthday. And he was healthy. And then there was a story of a guy down, I think it was in either Jersey or here in New York. I'm not sure. But he was a Division I college baseball player. He, never made it to the big leagues, but he was like a gym teacher or something. And his wife said he was healthy, lived a great life, dropped dead, coronavirus. He was in his 30s. So, I think there's a lot of misinformation on everybody's part.
Yeah.
I just hope that it doesn't affect any of us here. Hopefully we will get away from this unscathed, but our hopes and prayers are all we can do at this point.
Yeah. I mean, with everybody, we just need to be safe out there. Willed and Well Armed is asking a good question. If you want to pull that up.
Where is it?
Towards the bottom.
Who is it?
Wheeled and Well Armed.
Is it this one?
No, I'm sorry. Go farther down.
Further down.
Yeah. Any suggestions for a 45 compact is what he's asking.
There it is. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah, and for one, I would really want to know if he's talking about a polymer or if he's talking about a steel frame or alloy frame. But some really great choices are the Shield 45. I mean, that thing is a shooter. If you haven't shot it, the way that they've set up the recoil spring, it's a dual recoil spring, and the gun really has no recoil for a 45. I mean, it's gonna have push, but it's not drastic at all, and it's a very accurate firearm. And you've got the single stack capability of 45 that you do in a 1911. Depending on the capacity you're wanting, but that would be my recommendation.
I like Pistol Pete's recommendation. I'm going to go with that one. The M&P 2.0 is a good one.
Yeah, and it is. It just depends on the size you're looking for. If you want something really small or smaller, or I would always go for a compact if at all possible. But
So Uncle Dud, good luck with that, sir. Hopefully it all works out. I'm sure we will all be thinking of you in regards to that. I know that I have friends who are in similar condition as you are, sir, and they are nervous as well. And, unfortunately, they can't even go into the delivery rooms now with their wives. So they're not allowing the husbands in because of it.
Yeah. Harry's got a good question, too. Grab that one.
What gun would you get if you had to get a non-380, 9mm, or 45? Reason being easy to find ammo, gun, and caliber. So it can't be a 380, can't be a 9mm, can't be a 45.
Well, I think you're saying non-380, like a 9mm or a 45.
Right. So, what other round is there? Is it a 40 cal?
No,
like a 10 mil.
Well, I mean, I think he's saying you could choose a 9mm or a 45. I'm thinking it just can't get a non-380, unless that's what he's saying. I don't know. Tell us, Harry.
Harry, you have confused us, sir.
Yeah.
What gun would you get if you had to get a non-380, 9mm, or 45?
I mean, I would probably have a 40, because you can still find ammo, and the 40 caliber is much cheaper than a 10mm. And the capacity is still good. Okay, 10mm. Okay, 40 cal, 10mm. Oh, okay. Then that changes the game.
So I'd go 40 cal all day long. It's going to be cheaper. It's available everywhere because nobody buys it anymore. And I'll tell you, the one gun that I had in a 40 that was actually, I owned it, was a P2000. And that gun was good, man. It did not shoot like a 40. It actually was fairly controllable. So I would actually get a P2000 and a 40 cal.
Okay. Out of those three, and I love 357, I really do. But out of those three, for price and ammo easy to find, I would grab a 40 because 357 is much more expensive. 10mm is much more expensive. 40 caliber is just laying there. They're trying to get rid of it. So I'd grab a 40, especially in a situation like now. That's what I would, because your capacity also, but really with any of those, you're going to get the same capacity, but I would just go 40. I mean, if I had to choose, I do like 357 better, but 40 is easy to shoot. I mean, they're all easy to shoot, but or easier, I guess.
And the P2000 I had the LEM trigger, which is just it's awesome. If you've never shot an HK with an LEM trigger, you need to. It's night and day. Yeah, it's the long double action, but it's the smoothest take up. I mean, super smooth. It's there's no way to describe it. You just got to shoot it.
Yeah, Harry's saying he's seeing 40 sell out locally, but plenty online. Yeah, because people are just, it's either the guys that didn't think they had enough 40 ammo because of this situation that's going on, so they loaded up, or they were just getting whatever they could get. If they owned a 40, they were trying to just feed that sucker. So I think this whole deal has just caused people to buy all kinds of stuff they normally wouldn't buy. Because you normally wouldn't see a 25-year-old woman going in and buying a 12 gauge shotgun either.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we are at the 9 o'clock hour. What are your parting words tonight, sir, for the group?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming on the chat, giving us great content. If you haven't subscribed to each other, please do. Y'all make all this possible. Give us great content to talk about. And, think a truck driver, think the people, the medical people that are helping out, the police officers, ambulance. I mean, there's a lot of people out there busting their ass and putting themselves in bad situations to keep us safe and help us out. So, thank those people. They deserve it. And, we'll have some content coming out, or I'll have some content coming out. Follow us on Instagram. If you don't, I put a lot of stuff over there. We put a lot of stuff over there that we don't even do videos on. So, but, everyone just stay safe, push through, and we'll get through this. So.
Everything you said, man. Basically the same thing. Just everybody try to do your best in the times that we're in. For those of you who are discounting this as nothing, I'd suggest you maybe just take a step back and rethink that a little bit, because this is affecting a lot of people in a lot of different ways, young and old, children, parents, you name it. So just keep them all in your prayers, and hopefully we will get all through this, and then we can talk about some things that are not so serious, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us, everybody, and stay safe, be clean, wash your damn hands. And if you have any toilet paper, send it my way. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Carry on.